doing with the clothing range, but
Yeah.
she's doing it with bikinis.
Oh, really? Cool.
Like literally, Tiger Mark is the same, anything like that.
Really?
So yeah, and she's launching. She was going to launch last week, so she's very close to you. So
Really?
you two should connect. Yeah,
Perfect.
I know of the guy that knows this. All right, I'll let Alison take over. Go, Ali.
Okay, thanks, Paul. So, hi, Anna, and hi, everyone. As you've heard, Paul is in Magnetic Island. His internet's a bit dodgy, and so I have the controls. Be afraid. So, welcome to week 2 of the Prosperity Game, and just really want to check in to see how you're going. Now, I had some problems getting my app up to date, but thanks to Paul, I'm now back on track. So we'll just go around the room and we'll go in order of people who arrived. So DL, how are you going with your Prosperity Game?
I'm good. Paul just updated my app, and I have over $100,000 in there. So
Wow.
I've been recording manually because I wasn't able to navigate the app, and I shared with some of you that I am I'm choosing to build what I'm going to call a she sanctuary. So it's going to be kind of a guest house for me.
Beautiful.
Escape my house. No, it's just going to be a place to, kind of retreat out of my house, away from Wi-Fi, away from electronics. Not that I can't get Wi-Fi there, but it's going to be more of a place just to kind of meditate, maybe do yoga. I will, probably build a second floor with a full bedroom and maybe like a half bath upstairs, and then a soaker tub downstairs. Yeah, kind of, yeah.
So are you taking bookings yet?
Yes. Am I doing what?
Bookings. Are you taking bookings? Pick me.
Yeah, it definitely could be an Airbnb.
Love it.
For sure.
And how have you felt about, spending your money? So that's the other thing guys would like to check in with. What have you spent your money on, and how have you felt about having all this money to spend?
Yeah. So most of it's been practical stuff. The She Sanctuary, the bathtub is where a lot of the money's going.
Awesome.
So I either, I've been looking at, I'm feeling concrete, but it might be, I have to look at the elements and see. I'm also thinking about cast iron just because I'm iron deficient. And I'm wondering if that might not be, but cast iron is not as attractive as, the concrete. So concrete looks really nice. It's not that expensive, but there are some like really neat bathtubs. And it's going to be big for like 2 people. And yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
And would you spend all this money if it wasn't just free money?
No. Probably would not. But again, the things that I'm spending on are legitimately things that I'm choosing to have in my life.
Beautiful.
So once I get beyond those things, and a lot of it's house stuff, like landscaping and, just really, really looking over. I want my house to be a sanctuary, and and just, expand or just make it more comfortable,
Beautiful.
all around. So that's my big area that I'm looking forward to spending. And then my second passion is travel. So it would probably involve travel and but again, I'm more at the realistic point where I'm spending money that I'm probably going to spend to do real things.
Cool.
When I get into $50,000-$60,000, then I'm probably going to get more into the lesser realistic things. So,
Into the dreaming. I love it.
yes. So I'm complete with that.
Thank you, dear. Zlata, tell us what you've been spending your money on.
Well, I'm only up to day 7 because I've been so bloody busy, but I have not used the app, but I will. But the only reason was I've actually been doing a book because
Oh,
each day, what does that So that's bio food cubes for growing.
Nice.
It's like $4,000 worth to buy 3. They're very expensive.
Yeah.
I'm only up to 5 days, and I'm a bit behind, and it takes me time to research, and I want to. That's part of the experience and part of the learning for me. So I haven't had the time. I've got ideas, but I haven't had the time to actually research and get a cost for like a new couch or whatever the other things are going to be. I have no trouble spending money at all. I don't think, not yet, but that may happen yet. And I also have realized that doing this is really helping me with actually my whole of life hopes and dreams, because it's giving that more narrow focus. And it's helping me actually knuckle down more what I actually really want. So, and a lot of it is for others. And, you know, like I'm looking at options to live overseas. Should the world go to shit, I'm seeking out things like that. And that's for my family. That's not just for me, that's for my family, my children. So
I love it. So you're becoming an overseas prepper.
yeah, not am I just a doomsday prepper. Actually, that I could have put my honest to goodness bulk order in this, because I spent $1,000 on the bloody thing, on the groceries and the food. Yes, I shall become an overseas doomsday prepper.
Oh, love it. Thank you, Zlata.
Okay.
Fred, let's go to you and then we'll go to Sal.
Yeah, I had to apologise, guys. I logged into the app, but I just had a couple of thinks about what I was going to do, and I couldn't come up with anything. So I've really been pretty slack this week. I've been busy in the business, but I have to apologise. But I will. I promise. So it's the accountability thing now for me for the next week is to catch up.
Good on you.
But I'm enjoying like hearing what people are doing, because like I'm not materialistic, so when it comes to spending money, it's I look, do I really want it? And 9 times out of 10, I'll go, no, I don't, and so I don't buy it. Right? So this is going to be a really interesting exercise for me, because go and open the wallet. You know, some people reckon you got deep pockets, so to open the wallet and start spending on something is going to be a really interesting exercise for me. But I do promise to catch up.
Cool. What about you, Sal?
Oh, well, second time around, it's so much easier. So like Fred, when I first started, I had a few issues with spending, and like I found it a bit of a challenge and I felt a bit guilty. But second time around, it's so different. And so let me have a look at what I blew it on. Yeah, a lot of just bills. Like, so I was like DL up at this stage at the moment. I'm just sort of spending on real things that I really had to get out of the way. Rent, bills, clothing, stuff. And then I threw in a holiday, a retreat in Thailand. But what I really blew my money on, so I'm up to date, is a car, because I've always wanted a convertible Mercedes, so I got an older model one. So it's like, I thought, right, but I did do a pay it forward, like I paid it forward for some members of Dreamweaving, that sort of thing. So I balanced it out, not just about home bills and then some nice things, but also giving back. But I really think this next week we'll take it into another notch, because we have so much more to spend each day that it becomes almost like gluttonous. Like, you know, now I can start doing things like DL's wanting, you know, building communities or helping communities and stuff. So yeah, this time around it's just a whole different shift in my mindset. It's
awesome.
So much easier. Yeah. So yeah.
I think that's what the whole the whole kind of purpose of the game is, to get to that point where we're not worried about only paying for the practical things of life, no guilt, no shame, no kind of, you know, constraints to hold us back, but just going for it free for all, because that's what abundance is. It's just knowing that you can just take anything you want and have it, and not from a greed perspective, but just from a potential and possibility perspective. Well, that's how it strikes me.
Yeah,
Anna, sorry, Sal.
I was just going to say it's a shift in the mindset, because there's abundance for all, and it's just don't feel guilty about it, and you know, learn to work with it, right? Because once again, this is all about energy.
Totally. Anna, you're able to.
Hi everyone. I really struggle. Like, I have particular items in mind, which I'm like looking to achieve particular goals, and the thing is that they require a lot of money. And at the moment, I'm already several days when I haven't spent a cent, and I look at the account and I see like 20K, 30K, 40K, and I think that's not enough. So I'm in this kind of definitely opposite to abundance. So I need to get to there. And I was thinking even to put, I don't know, 2 million into the account and say, this is the starting point, you know, so that when I sort out everything, what I want to sort, and then like we talked the last time when I was thinking that's the base, but I still need to build that base. And my mind goes, yeah, but you don't have it. You haven't spent money to get to there. So because I'm thinking that those are my investments. And for me, for example, to bring my parents to Australia, the only way how to do it quickly is for me to transfer them 5 million and 5 million to be invested in Australian economy.
Yeah.
So otherwise they need to wait another 7 years to get their visa. That's as simple as that. So, and I look at the account with 20K, 30K, and I think, what can I do with that? And I was literally thinking last night for half an hour, what can I spend it on? What would make me happier? And I thought maybe I'll come up with that in the morning. And I woke up and I thought straight away, what is that I'm going to spend it on? And I still don't have the answer. So I have this account which is growing and growing and growing. And it's ridiculous, honestly. And I think that's not enough. That's not enough. It's like that's silly, yeah, because I have that particular goal where I want to have certain investments, when I want to have my parents in here, when I want to leave something for my kids, and yeah, and it's pretty much like if I need a house, I need a deposit. The deposit is definitely more than 100K, and I don't have 100K in the account, and it goes back to. So I don't know how to get out of that.
It's really interesting that you've already identified that even though you've got 20, 30, 40K, you still have like a scarcity mindset, which is the way it's not the way to kind of create abundance. So, you know, what I would be thinking is with this 20, 40K that I've got, where can I invest it in the meantime? Because if it's just sitting in the bank, theoretically, it's not growing. Where can I put it, maybe even in a term deposit, where if I just put it there for 3 months or 6 months, it can grow. And I have no idea about finance, but I'll be talking to a financial advisor like Paul and saying, Paul, I have 20 or 40,000 that I really want to grow quickly. How can I do that? And then therefore your money is not just sort of sitting in a pile doing nothing and you're feeling bad about it. So that's just something that's two things that struck me.
I'm just in a Zoom, so
I don't have a bad feeling that I have money in the account, but I have, like as you said, I need to get out of the scarcity, and for me to get out of the scarcity, I need to grow it to a certain point where I can say, okay, now it's the first step. That's the first investment. But I didn't get to the point where, even if I think, okay, I bought all my investments, like my parents are here, what's next? There is not much else coming up onto my mind apart from doing what I'm doing, like reinvesting in the business and doing exactly what I'm doing now, like just growing the business.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I was thinking, even if I would have, instead of 1,000 adding per day, what if I would have 10,000 adding per day or 100,000 adding per day? What would I do? I would be back investing into real estate and development, and I would just do bigger deals. So instead of the small land subdivision. I would just do bigger land subdivision. I would invest into, I don't know, affordable housing or whatever makes sense, whatever makes profit, whatever. Yeah, so it's just comes to exactly what I do, but just scaling up.
Yeah, and I mean, I know I don't want to sort of hijack Paul's game, but if it was me, I'd be saying, you know what, I'm not going to be just making it 1,000 a day. I'm going to put up to $10,000 a day, and that way, because it's all about our mindset. So this game is about really uplifting our mindset and our energy. So I would be saying to you, it's going to be 10,000 a day. Go for it, because what we really wanting to do is change the dial to up our energy,
Yeah.
our point of attraction. So unless Paul has a problem with that, I'd be saying, do it. And speaking of Paul, why don't you tell us what you've been doing? Sorry, Anna, you finished?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so I hope you can hear me okay, all right. The first thing, just listening to everything, my big learning from last week was the inability of people to get out of their current life and go into the reality. And so we try to create something from our logical minds.
Mm-hmm.
And because we haven't created that yet with our logical minds, we're not willing to step into the unknown and allow the universal mind to actually give you the answers. We try to force it logically, and I think that's one of the problems with what happens with us as we going through life is we try to force it through. And I think the whole idea of this game is just to suspend your logical mind and go into the reality. And when you're in the reality, it allows things to flow into you. I think that's what my big takeaway was from last week. With Sally, I think it's I'm finding it a lot easier this time around as well. I got to admit, it's now I'm just going to day 14 on the first game. I said, "Yep, that's on the list. That's on the list." So it's a lot better. So I'm enjoying that part of it. And I'm just enjoying the whole experience again. One of the things that I am finding is that some of those things on the first list, the first time around, are starting to come to fruition. And it's also creating room. It's also creating room for me to attract some of the bigger items. So I got myself an electric scooter, which I'm zipping around in. It's a lot of fun. But also my car's, the engine died. So it's actually creating space for me to get rid of an old car and attract a newer car into me. So, and we've got to believe this is all just suspended. We've got to believe that there's a bigger picture and a far greater intelligence helping us achieve what we desire.
Love that. That's great. And one of the things I was thinking about where, some people, including me, were not really spending their money because they hadn't got the app up or whatever. And I thought, I wonder, rather than just make assumptions, I wonder whether this is just because we know it's make-believe. If we had real money that was coming into our bank account or into our hands, whatever, every day, like real physical money, would we be just quite so complacent? And in which case, exactly. So I see Fred shaking his head. So this is all about getting into that energy of believing it's real, which is what Paul is talking about. So get into, so I've just put in the chat, when we go to the movies or we're watching TV, we talk about the suspension of disbelief. So you watch a movie and think, oh, that couldn't possibly be happening. But that's what movies are all about. It's about the escapism, and it's just enjoying the escapism. And this game is about getting into that mindset of escapism so you can just suspend your disbelief and think, you know what, I'm going for broke as if this was real. Because it's that energy that will then change our abundance vibration. So I just thought I'd share that, and I don't know what anybody else thinks. or not. Jump in, whatever you want to say. Anybody?
Yeah, I think,
Sorry,
I
yeah,
think
I
you're right, Sally. I think it
dropped out.
is. Yeah, I think it's the, it's a game, so it's like, and that's why I shook my head. Like when you said if it was real money and you had somebody dropping 1,000, like some benefactor from God knows where decided to drop $1,000 into your bank account every day, it would be something of disbelief, but you'd have to have a think about, first off, who is this guy? Where did I attract this from? Or, how did I get this money? And then, is it a mistake? Has somebody been deposited money in the wrong account? Will I have to give it back? So when do I start spending it to find out? So that opens up a whole thought pattern as well.
Yeah,
Not
totally.
just money's coming in. If you know where it's coming from, then that's a different scenario. But if you just had money dropping into your account, you'd be going, hang on, is the bank stuffed up? Is it legal to spend it? Am I okay? All that kind of stuff goes on. But yeah, and I'm just thinking about what looking at. Like I'm probably about 10 to 12,000 behind the scene at the moment, and I'm trying to think, well, what do I do? What do I spend it on? And we had a conversation last week about outside that some of the trees are starting to get too big. And I said, I'll get the chainsaw out. My wife says, no, you won't. Because the trees are big, right?
Yeah.
So some of the money I'd be spending on is getting an arborist out and just get the tops lopped off
Yeah.
all the trees around the house. So that'd probably cost me 20 grand anyway to get that. So it's probably an easy spend for me for the next couple of weeks to get some of that money out of the way. But
Well-
yeah, again, I'm in real life, I'm thinking, that's a lot of money. Where am I going to get it from?
So totally, spend that money, that energetic money, and who knows, it might just drop out of the sky. I also thought, which you were saying yourself, Fred, that that thinking that maybe it's not real, maybe there's a catch in there, maybe the bank stuffed up and they're going to come and get it back from me. That, as you said, is a whole different sort of thought pattern, which is really worth exploring. What does it mean? What does it mean in terms of the implications of the thought? And what does it mean in terms of where my mind is about money? Okay, thanks, Al. See you later. I love those convertible Mercs too, those old ones. 350 SLC.
I'll see you next week. Well
Take
done.
care.
I think,
See you. Bye.
I think
See you.
that's one of the advantages of Sally playing the game before is that in the first week she identified that she felt guilty, and now she goes, you know what? I don't need to feel guilty. And one of the things I want to ask Anna, or I want Anna to try and imagine, right? Imagine if you're at Grant Cardone already, right? You know who Grant Cardone is. He's a great property developer in America, all right? He's a billionaire, all right? So go and look him up, and this guy makes billions of dollars, and I've followed him a little bit, and what he does, he goes out and buys helicopters for toys and things like that because he's just got such an abundance of money. And that's a mindset that if you could start living that mindset, you could start attracting it as well.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, what exactly do I want, right? And I actually I actually really want a particular things in the development, right? So I really like the land development. I really like townhouse construction, and it's all appears now in my life, like those opportunities to invest here and there in the deals which I like I genuinely enjoy doing them.
Sure.
The thing is that if I am like when you're saying helicopters and everything, I do have developers like in my network who've been, they're builders, they're doing house and land packages, and they do have helicopters, and they fly into Queensland to check for a meeting and come back, and they have big yachts and everything else. And I look at that, and then like it again connects to the meaning, and they are not a good people, and they treat other people not in a good way. So it straight away, you know how it's a bit silly, but you think, I don't want to become bad. So that helicopter becomes that person who treats someone in a not good way, although helicopter has nothing to do with that, right? Clearly. But on the other hand, I truly think, what do I really want? Like, really, do I want a helicopter? Do I want to fly that helicopter? It would stay if I buy it, and I'm probably not going to use it. That's the reality of it. And I think my husband might like it, so I can buy it for him. And I checked all my purchases. 90% of my purchases were done for my kids, for my parents, for my husband. And I sit there and think, but what about me? What do I want for myself? And I went all the clothes shopping and upgraded all the wardrobes for my husband and for myself. But that's it. That's kind of, I'm kind of connected to what Fred said. It's materialistic things. Like I wouldn't buy a helicopter for myself. The top expensive thing which I'm thinking of is to get the Geländewagen, so the Mercedes. That's it. And then the nice house, right? But then you think, what else you're gonna spend the money on? And for me, it's really business. Yeah. Because you invest in business and it goes to people. So.
Well, it's really about what makes your heart sing, what opens up your heart and your mind and your energy to creating abundance. So that's really, to my mind, where it's all about.
I think I still need to, I need to keep playing, and I need to add in the numbers to the point where I feel safe and comfortable, and that's where I am. That's the base, because at the moment I can't get to the base, where I get to the abundance. So I've just added 2 million. I'll see what I'm going to spend it on. And I'll see what's next.
DL's just put a message in the chat to say, look up Warren Buffett. So I don't know what Warren Buffett's investment strategy was. Paul might know, but I don't.
It's not that it's an investment or something. Like I am genuinely passionate about what I'm doing. I get, at the moment, because of the market fluctuation, because at the moment, once I get the cash inflow, I would feel more secure, more stable, and get more done. Wouldn't be in any of the scarcity mindset. But the thing is that, so it just needs the inflow to balance up and to get to the right mindset, I guess.
Sorry, to me, it seemed to be the same thing. So, sorry, I beg your pardon. So whether it's like 1 0 or 7 zeros is irrelevant in terms of the mindset. That's how it strikes me. So it's about getting the mindset moving, regardless of how many zeros there are. And if your mindset needs more zeros, I would say just add the zeros. Change the energy.
Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll see how it feels. It would be quite interesting, I think.
Yeah, that's a great experiment. I don't know if you mind that, Paul. He's frozen on it there.
No, thank you, guys. It was good to chat.
Okay, you're going, are you?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Okay, well, thanks for jumping on.
Thank you, Alison, for leading that.
See, my pleasure. I might just stop streaming and stop recording. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thanks.